Welcome back to another big update on my LEGO City project. This time, I'm reaching new heights. This is the tallest skyscraper I've built so far. It's an office tower with something extra, a stunning rooftop restaurant and a lush rooftop garden with an incredible view over the whole city. Trust me, you're going to want to see this. Before I settled on the final look, I tried a few different shapes. I experimented with rounded corners, stepped profiles, and even a slim tower design. This process always takes a lot of time and is one of the most challenging parts of building with LEGO. You really have to be able to visualize what your design will look like in the end, and that requires a lot of foresight. It involves a lot of trial and error, and you really have to think carefully about how you're going to use the LEGO pieces you've chosen, but this is a crucial part of the process. In the end, I went with a simple square tower with one corner cut out. It's clean, modern, and it frames the skyline nicely when viewed from the right side of the city. Sometimes the simplest choice is the strongest. I start the build by placing the light gray pillars. They form the structural rhythm of the facade. Between them, I add the glass panels. Long, uninterrupted panes that give the building its sleek business district appearance. Lining up all those panels and tiles takes patience, but the final result is worth every minute. Every layer feels solid and professional, and from the outside, it reads as a real modern high-rise. In total, I'm building no less than 11 of these floors. Can you imagine how many LEGO pieces it took to make this happen? And that's not even counting the interior yet. Altogether, I'd estimate this build cost me around $1,500 in bricks. Just to give you an idea, building on this kind of scale takes a lot of time and a lot of money. Because this is a modular build, I finish each level with tiles, so every floor can be removed easily. That modular approach makes stacking and transport way easier later on. There will be 11 floors in total, each built as its own module. Next, I prepared the foundation where the tower will sit. That meant reworking the pedestrian paths and adjusting the surrounding pavement so the entrance aligns perfectly with the rest of the district. This is where you start to see the future layout. Sidewalks, crosswalks, and the footprints of the next buildings all fall into place. It's satisfying to watch the neighborhood map itself out on the table. The tricky part is that I want all the buildings to be perfectly aligned next to each other, which means I'm limited in how wide each one can be. So I have to design everything so that the glass panels and light gray pillars fit exactly within those fixed dimensions. Since this time I'm using large glass panels that are 6 studs wide, that made things a lot more challenging. Still, I think for my next skyscraper, I'll go back to the 2 stud wide panels, like you can see on the dark gray building to the right. They give you a lot more freedom to create unique shapes and details in your design. I also made a quick trip to the LEGO store and came back with 2 big boxes full of greenery, potted plants, small trees, and a handful of decorative leaves. Plants might seem like a small detail, but they bring life to office interiors in a way nothing else does. Building 11 floors required a mountain of plates. That's why I build in bulk. I pre-assemble repeating sections, walls, window frames, and floor plates, so when it's time to stack them, it's just a matter of slotting pieces together. On the ground floor, I create the main entrance, service desks, small seating areas, and an elevator tucked into the corner so staff can get to their offices quickly. Since the floors have high ceilings, I wanted to see how it would look if I added some trees inside, something you sometimes see in real modern office buildings. At first, I planned to use the same tree design I've used before in my LEGO City, but it didn't quite fit the look I was going for. So instead, I decided to go with a new design using the parts I picked up at the LEGO store. I placed the new plants around the reception area, instantly better than the old tree model I used before. It kind of looks like a tropical plant, the kind you often see in these modern office buildings. I'm planning to use this design more often in my future builds. Looks much better, right? Once the layout is set, I reattach the glass walls and finish the level with tiles, so the next module stacks perfectly on top. Clean, organized, and modular. Exactly what I wanted. Like I mentioned before, building in bulk and preparing as many elements as possible saves a lot of time. Now you can really see how many bricks it takes just to create the outer walls alone. It definitely makes working on massive projects like this a bit more manageable. I think I've spent well over 20 hours building the skyscraper. Fun, but a lot of work. Let's keep it moving. Now you can see how the pre-built sections come together. I show a time lapse of floor after floor being assembled. It moves fast, but every click and snap is real work. Seeing it grow taller and taller is one of the most rewarding parts of the process. Now it's time to rebuild this entire floor 10 more times. A real nightmare, I can tell you. And remember, they all still need to be furnished and finished as well. Building with LEGO on this scale isn't always fun, but just wait until you see the final result. You definitely don't want to miss this. With all 11 modules completed, the lineup looks incredible. A neat stack of floors ready to be lifted into place. It's a great moment because from here the rooftop design becomes the centerpiece of the whole build, and that's where the real fun starts, the rooftop garden and restaurant. I begin by building the staircase that leads up to the terrace, then place the final roof piece on top of the tower. The garden base is made from green plates, layered to create subtle elevation changes. The idea was to create a rooftop terrace with a panoramic view, where both the restaurant guests and the office workers can enjoy a breathtaking look over the city. I didn't just want to make a plain, empty rooftop, I wanted it to feel like a natural oasis filled with greenery. The perfect place to relax, take a break from work, or escape the buzz of the restaurant for a moment. I think this really completes the building and gives it that unique look that makes it stand out from all the surrounding skyscrapers. I add flowers, small trees, and 4 cozy benches where visitors can sit and enjoy the view. In the center, I place a small fountain to give the space a calm focal point. To make the plantings look natural, I mix different plant elements and use layering techniques, stacking leaves, adding tiny blooms, and alternating textures to avoid repetition. The result is a rooftop park that feels alive, with a stunning 360-degree panorama of the city below. Picture having lunch here. That view would be hard to beat. I use several different techniques to add variation to the greenery, just like you see in real garden designs. The mix of light and dark green pieces really helps bring that effect to life, in my opinion. The colorful flowers add a nice touch too, making everything feel more vibrant and full of energy. The Lego minifigures are all enjoying a nice drink and the amazing view from up here. It makes me wonder, are there actually many real skyscrapers with rooftop terraces like this? You'd have to know exactly where to look to find them. Do you know any tall buildings with rooftops like this? Let me know in the comments because I've never seen one in person myself. Either way, I think my city definitely deserves at least one. And now it's finally time for the second masterpiece of this build, the rooftop restaurant. A lot of you mentioned in the comments that you wanted to see one, so here we go. The restaurant is the real centerpiece of this build. It sits right next to the rooftop garden and features an open kitchen where guests can sit around the chefs as they cook. It's a relaxed but high-end place, filled with life and movement. In each corner, I've placed small lanterns to give the space a warm evening glow. The checkered tiles on the floor make it look both classy and welcoming. Exactly the kind of rooftop spot you'd expect in a modern city center. From here, we move back inside the skyscraper to explore the office floors. The first stop, of course, is the restroom area. Even in Lego form, you can't forget those small but essential details. Next are the workspaces, filled with desks, computers, and chairs. Every floor has a slightly different layout, so it feels more like a real company rather than a copy-paste office tower. Finishing the floors took ages because I used hundreds of tiny, one-by-one transparent tiles to give each surface a realistic shine. They reflect light beautifully, but believe me, getting them all perfectly aligned took hours of patience. Still, once you see the reflection running across the entire floor, it's totally worth it. Another office level features large tables where employees can work together, share ideas, or just chat over coffee. Details like this make the building feel alive. You can almost imagine what kind of businesses might be renting these spaces. Now it's time for the big moment, stacking all 11 floors together in the city. One by one, the modules click into place, rising higher and higher until the tower stands complete. Seeing it reach full height is incredibly satisfying. It truly dominates the skyline. While stacking all 11 floors, I quickly realized that this might just become the tallest skyscraper in the entire city. It's one of those things you can't really predict beforehand. It always ends up being a surprise until the very end. To give you an idea of its scale, the building stands well over 4.5 feet tall. And here comes my favorite part, adding the rooftop restaurant and garden on top. The final pieces slide in perfectly, locking everything together into one seamless structure. From this angle, you can see the contrast between the sleek glass tower and the green rooftop oasis. It's the perfect balance of business and leisure. Then, I zoom out from the street level entrance all the way up, revealing the entire skyscraper and the surrounding city. What a view! Every building, every detail, coming together to make this Lego city feel more alive than ever. That's what I love most about glass skyscrapers. Every level tells a different story. You can spot the employees at their desks, meetings taking place, and people relaxing on the rooftop garden above. This project took an incredible amount of time and dedication. In total, I spent well over $1,500 on bricks for this one building alone, but every single piece was worth it. The end result speaks for itself. If you enjoyed watching this build, please take a second to like the video, share it with other LEGO fans, and let me know in the comments what you think of this skyscraper. Should I fully decorate every floor in my next build, or keep some towers more minimal, like the black one behind it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Your suggestions might become my next project, and if you'd like to help me expand this LEGO city even faster, consider becoming a channel member for just $1 a month. You'll get exclusive behind the scenes videos where I show how I design my builds and how you can find LEGO pieces as affordably as possible. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next update.